Hey, welcome everyone. Today we're going to talk about spring pond care, pond evaporation, and water changes made easy on your pond. All right, first question we have for today comes from an Ian Carmichael, and he says now that his water temperature is at 45 degrees, he wants to know what beneficial bacteria he should add to boost his filters and at what temperature he should start adding it. Let me tell you this, Ian. I'm not sure where he's from, but he said he didn't completely ice his pond over, but it was down in the low 30s or like mid 30s. His pond water was, and but it didn't completely ice over. So I would tell you this: there are some cold water temperature bacteria that you can get, and if you can even add some of that stuff even under the ice. Now it's working very slow, the cold temperature bacteria, but it's still working. It's still doing its job. Even in the ponds and lakes where are completely frozen over, the beneficial bacteria is still doing very little, but still active. So I would tell you to get a good cold temperature bacteria. And I'm going to take this a little deeper. Going into winter, I believe you should be adding heavy doses of a cold temperature beneficial bacteria when the water temperature hits that low 50s, starts to plummet into the 40s. You should be using a cold temperature bacteria right there. Just like get it in there, and I'll even do I'll do like every day for 14 days doses into the pond to get it super inoculated. If you have a gravel bottom pond, especially I'm talking, and it starts to eat some of the debris down that has accumulated over the year. And then when it flips over to spring, I do the same deal. As the water temperature starts to rise and you're starting to come up into the mid 40s, then I would probably kickstart the whole season with a cold temperature beneficial bacteria once again every day for a couple weeks. I even go as far as putting like a pound per 1,000 gallons. I put in a whole pound of beneficial bacteria sprinkled into the pond to help kickstart the pond and get it inoculated. In the wintertime, even under ice, I would say, throw in just a little bit of beneficial bacteria once a month, because not a whole lot's going on, but it definitely can't hurt. So that's a very good question, and I hope that those super doses of beneficial bacteria in the fall and in the winter, if you start doing those, you'll definitely see a benefit in your pond. And then once your temperature gets back up into the high 50s, when it hits into that 60 range, you would go back to like a normal strength beneficial bacteria, and all season or all weather beneficial bacteria is going to work best for you at that time. My next question comes from a fan that we have on YouTube, one of our subscribers, Yellow-Bellied Turtle. And Yellow-Bellied Turtle, boy or girl, I'm not really sure. He or she tells me about the pond, and they might have a leak in the pond. And also, this is coming from water changes. This question kind of comes in, I'm bringing in some more stuff, but Yellow-Bellied Turtle is the one that brought it to the table of saying, hey, I add a lot of water due to evaporation as part of my water change routine. And as I said, this is not the only person that's brought that to the table. I want to be really clear that adding water for evaporation does not constitute doing a water change on the pond. There's a lot of elements that are in the pond, and the easiest one to show you is salt. If you have salt in your pond and you start to evaporate, the water gets evaporated out and all the minerals stay in the pond. So the salt increases in the pond as water starts to evaporate. So if you throw in the water in the hose, the water fills back up, and all those elements are still at the same point. They're still the same level as they were before the evaporation hit. So I want to be real clear that if you want to do a good quality water change and refresh the system with elements and minerals, really refresh it, you want to have the water topped off in the pond where it's normally supposed to be, and then you want to get that water change in, and then you're going to be refreshing the system with good, clean, fresh water and fresh elements. So that's the easiest way to help you guys understand that you have to do those water changes, not just evaporation, if that's what your goal is. You'll see the fish grow faster, the beneficial bacteria will do better, the plants will do better, everything's going to do better in the system when you do that. We are going to come to our final question that we have from a super newt on YouTube, and he wants to know how you can do water changes easily on the pond. And This is a great question. I wanted to couple it with the yellow-bellied turtle question, and we just recently did a video on water changes and their value and importance to your system. So to make water changes easy, this is a fun question because let me just start with a simple ecosystem pond. If you have a simple ecosystem pond with a skimmer, rocks and gravel, aquatic plants, a waterfall filter, you're gonna have one pipe that goes from the skimmer and shoots up to the waterfall. Now imagine behind the waterfall, if you connected a valve, and we call them hose bibs here in America, or spigots, or adapters, but a valve that you can connect a garden hose to. Okay, so you connect a valve to your whole plumbing system. Now, if you turn that valve on, you're gonna have pond water. So you connect the garden hose and you can send that over to the garden. If you have potted plants on your patio, if you have fruit trees, if you have certain gardens, you can turn that valve on. You can even do a double valve. You can turn the valve off to the waterfall and open the other valve to the garden hose. And you can go around and you can sprinkle water on all your plants. In the summertime, it'd be amazing if you did it for your vegetables. And you can do your water changes on your pond that way. The neat thing about this is you're taking pond water, which is high in nutrients for plants, and then we'll give that to the plants, and then you take that new refreshed water and then give that to the koi. It's a perfect system to do that. So I think one of the easiest way to do that is to do a valve in there to the garden hose. If you're doing, if you have a more advanced system with a dedicated koi pond or a hybrid style pond with other filters, bead filter technology, backwash waterfall filter technology, things of that nature, what happens is, when you do that rinsing and that cleaning, you're doing a water change. So typically we're taking that water, if it's pressurized through the bead filter, it's sending it out to a garden or the fruit trees or something like that. I just highly encourage you to keep that water somewhere on the property and in the garden, and not just send it down the street to the gutters. So that's, I think those two tips right there is gonna give you some easy ways to do water changes on your pond. So I'm gonna finish with a question of the day for you guys. I wanna know, for the viewers that have ponds, I know some of you don't have ponds and you're just watching our channel to get information before you build a pond. But those of you that do have a pond, I wanna know, did you do that pond yourself or did you have it professionally installed? It's a big difference. You got guys who want the lifestyle and they just have it professionally installed, and then you have the people, the weekend warriors that follow our channel so much. And I have a feeling I know which one is heavier than the other, but I wanna hear it from you guys. Please take the time, stop right now what you're doing, and go to our comments and tell me, did you do it yourself as a weekend warrior, or did you have it professionally installed? It would really help me out to understand our audience, so please do that now. And if you want me to answer your question specifically here on the show, you know how to do it. Hashtag #AskThePondDigger, push it around to social media platforms, and I'll do my very best to answer it right here on the show. Thanks for watching.